You want to take us through this next team in the alphabet?
Yes. Well, and the last team in this division, so this makes it easy. This is the Milwaukee Bucks.
It'd be funny if you're like Charlotte Hornets. You're up.
Yeah. Brooke Lopez and Chris Middleton and Joe Ingles and Jay Crowder and Javon Carter are all free agents. The first two of those matter the most in a big way, Lopez and Middleton. Giannis is extension eligible. Not sure what's going to happen there. Don't expect an extension.
I think he needs longer than 2 years. Like, it's just like, there's no reason for him to sign it.
It's just like, it's like that argument of like, what's the point if he like tore every knee ligament he had tomorrow, he's getting the max, like the second he comes back. So there's like,
put that out there.
I'm complimenting him. He's that good that it wouldn't matter. He's still going to get, you know what I mean? So this is a second apron team. We have not had one of those in this division, I don't think, as I scroll up. So extremely limited in their options. Those limitations will only intensify as we go forward. And all of these ridiculous salary matching and buyout and draft pick and this, that, and the other mid-level evaporating exceptions come into play down the line. And that's all relevant because if you bring Lopez and Middleton back at market rate salaries or even slightly below that, you're still just your second apron, get comfortable Bucks. So they have minimums to offer. That is going to limit our options for suggesting free agency acquisitions, but that's where they are. So what does this team need? And again, just for a refresher, because it feels like it happened, 10 years ago, bounced in the first round by an 8th seed, had some real like concerning offensive decline from Giannis. Some would say, I think defensive too, like the shooting just wasn't there. The free throw thing persisted. All the bad Bucks things where the offense stalls and they don't have enough, they can't create enough good shots happened. So also this team won a title like not long ago with this same
and Giannis was dealing with the back injury too.
Yes, right. That's fair. Have to mention that. But so there is some consternation, I think, that maybe like the window for this team is open, not as wide as it might have seemed like. Certainly when they won it, it seemed like Giannis was just going to stomp the whole league forever. Maybe that'll still happen, but that's all to say this team has real needs and really does not have a lot of avenues to pursue those or to pursue solutions. So if you're, where are you starting? Like what we gotta find someone to do this for us next year as the Bucks.
Just half court like outlets. And I'm talking by outlet, I mean spacing and can make a decision with the ball in their hands on the floor. Yeah. I think that's probably the biggest thing. And you're not going to get a nuclear solution or a seismic solution to that. I know we've seen some like Drew Holiday hypotheticals floated around, but my expectations would be, look, you start this offseason with Brooke Lopez and Chris Middleton. I don't know what team is out there that's going to pay you. You go into Chris Middleton's free agency eyes wide open if he's opting out. It's like he's going to get $35 million or whatever it is they'll pay him. Is there a number where you're like, well, we're not going to pay 35-year-old Brooke Lopez?
I mean, that's the crazy thing is for Middleton and Lopez, I think there are numbers. And the problem, or there should be numbers, but I don't think the Bucks are in a position to say we can't go that high. And that gives those guys have massive leverage, not from the outside, but internally, where it's like you can't it's not just like, well, Middleton's aging and long term. It's like no, you need him next year. And like basically everything after that doesn't matter. And he knows that. So if he wants to drive a hard bargain, and Lopez too, I think Lopez has like a broader market just because he won't cost as much. And I think it's just easier to fit him.
He also might have more leverage, as I think this is not a knock against Giannis Antetokounmpo, but you need that floor spacing big who doesn't compromise your defense alongside Giannis. And while you have Bobby Portis, who comes pretty close to meeting that, it's just Brooke Lopez just finished runner-up for defensive player.
Yeah, I mean, him and Portis have one similarity, which is that they're tall and can shoot. Everything else is different and in favor of Lopez. Like, so that's all to say, like, it kind of almost depends on like how big of an asshole does Lopez, and not that that's the wrong way to put it. Like, how hard a bargain do you want to drive? Because your value to this team is like off the charts. And it doesn't even matter if there's another suitor out there. You can just be ridiculous in your demands. And like, do they want to do that? Do they want to make it hard on Milwaukee? So I don't know what the number is. Like, if it's just in a vacuum, I don't like the idea of giving either of these guys more than maybe Middleton, like 2+1, Lopez 2+1. That's as long as I'd want to go. Lopez, you could talk me into $20 million a year. I think he's probably worth that. I don't know if the Bucks are willing to pay that. And Middleton, even 30 30 is probably my ceiling. Starting at 30 and you have your normal raises, but that's a lot. Like I can't.
What was his player option for? Wasn't his player option like 40 something?
It was 40, but you're theoretically going to get, 2 point something X that over 3 years if you're him. I mean, maybe you feel different about Middleton. I just think at his age and like his game should age well. Like, but I just think he's at a position where typically you're demanding shutdown defense or like, primary, defensive option guy. And he's not really that anymore. So it's the Bucks are in a tough spot. Like I don't envy. I mean, you have Giannis and you probably will contend, but like financially this gets rough very quickly.
Yeah. And like you're operating on, we can make additives in free agency via the minimum. If you're keeping Middleton and Lopez, which by the way, I expect them to do. And what else are they supposed to do? They're still going to be really good right now. And look, I don't know that there's a number. I'm not paying Middleton the max, but unless they're really worried about his knee issues, as you said, his game should age well, and he's just so important. But I'm looking at free agent wise, Yuta Watanabe would be a great fit here. Someone who can knock down a three. You don't really want to putting the ball on the floor too much, although we can do that a little bit. I have Javonte Green. Is he a good enough shooter, but he gives you a lot defensively? And look, part of what goes into this when you're looking at kind of I have O'Shea Brissett as well, TJ Warren as a flyer. What's happening with Jay Crowder? He's leaving, it sounds like, because he was like, I don't know why they traded for me. I guess they could come over the top with an offer, but it doesn't sound like he didn't play a ton in the playoffs. He did hit threes while he was there during the regular season. So like that kind of matters to this. But it's harder to fill. It's easier to find shooting with the minimum probably than it is for that kind of secondary creation. I have Shake Milton. This would be a good Shake Milton destination. That's like it. Like when you're talking about their minimums, I don't know who else in the point guard market. Like Dennis Schroeder, too expensive, and I don't think he provides enough spacing. Like Dennis Smith Jr. is probably going for more than the minimum, and will he shoot it well enough? Corey Joseph, Reggie Jackson, Jordan McLaughlin, Derrick Rose. Like these are just names that are wildly uninspiring, and you're not going to get into Trey Jones business. Ayo Dosunmu, not even a good enough shooter. You're not getting him for the minimum. Anything they make, any substantial moves they make via trade. And like their best package is basically, well, we can start step laddering. Maybe I'm sure they would move Bobby Portis in the right deal, although Lopez's age might make that tough. But you step ladder your way with salary, Marjon Beauchamp, and 1 first-round pick. And I just don't know. I'm not saying you have to give up all of that for the guys that I listed, but some trade targets that spring to mind. I still think Bojan Bogdanovic might make this team the favorite to come out of the East. That would be, I don't know if that's spicy, but if you acquire Bojan Bogdanovic, I'm picking, I don't care what Boston just did. We have to wait and see what Miami does. I'd pick Milwaukee to come out. I might pick Milwaukee to come out of the East anyway. So that's my guy for them still. I think he is just perfect for what they need. Also, Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith, Alec Burks. What does it take? And I'm only listing him. I know he said he wants to retire there, but they have 16 players under contract right now. Kenrich Williams would be great for this team.
Yeah.
And that might be, Buddy Hield would be his number, and Bojan's number is a little bit difficult to get to, but like when you start using Connaughton and Grayson Allen, like you're kind of there. I don't know if anyone else springs to mind, but you are at the point where some people might say, well, I'm not giving up a 2029 first round pick for Bojan or Buddy Hield. You protect it, but yes, you are.
Yeah, I think you are. Why are you not? I had a couple other that jumped out at me. Like, do you take a shot at Danny Green? Like, do you want to just see if he can be your Wes Matthews, where you thought he was totally washed and then maybe had a little bit left? Damian Lee, the Suns are going to want to bring him back. We're just talking minimum guys, right? Like, I don't think it's getting you Hamidou Diallo. Maybe you see if, like, does Will Barton have anything left? Does Terrence Ross have anything left? Like, we're really just trying to find guys that can. You need to see
if you're going to go like the Danny Green, Terrence Ross stuff. It's like, okay, guys who have proven they can be off-ball shooters, like Hamidou Diallo. Yeah, if you could afford them, just a no. I'm with you.
It's tough.
With you on that.
It's tough.